Hi, honey. I'm home. Uh-oh. I just broke something. Oh, crap. And I really did. There we go. Not bad. Grocery shopping. Today is February 2nd, Groundhog Day. It's supposed to get massively cold tomorrow night. I don't understand. It's New England. It's supposed to get massively cold, and they're having a nervous breakdown on the news because we're having a cold day. One cold day. The many reasons I love first of the month is the rent is due to me, not from me, so I can pay the mortgage. She's usually good and pays it within 4 or 5 days of when it's due, so I can look forward to a knock on the door. Fingers crossed. Okay. Had to run a bunch of errands, a little grocery shopping. Eggs. I needed to get some eggs. Eggs right now are, let's see, good Lord, I can't find them. Okay, eggs right now $4.49, a dozen of the large white, cage-free. Massachusetts has a law, has to be cage-free. I don't like plastic, so I bring my own. Ramen noodles, I think are like 45 cents. I'm living on them these days. A little bit of canned soup. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to have gourmet ramen noodles. I'm going to put soup in it. 2 cucumbers. Some mashed potatoes, I don't know why. Plain bagels that I'll put in the freezer and eat when I want. Ramen. A block of cheese, and I think you should get down, pretty girl, thank you. And Catalina dressing. My sliced toasted bread. That will go in the freezer. Because I still have the little bit left that I defrosted when we had breakfast the other day. Beef stock, chicken stock, because I live on soups. A little bit of milk, Italian dressing, and cauliflower. I spent $52, and that should keep me in food for at least a week. I do have a habit of not eating until I get home at night, and during the day I don't get really all that hungry, so it's not a big deal, but when I get home I'm ravenous, so I gotta have stuff ready. The ramen noodles will keep me from doing something stupid. Tea. And it's been 2 or 3 weeks, and my pantry, frig, frack, Fruit Loops. There we go. Just stay, right? My pantry is still clear, except I don't know where to put the ramen noodles. Sugar pops. All right, they're gonna have to go. Okay, ramen had to go on top of the pastas. I will not need to go shopping for staples anytime soon. Okay, so more or less everything's still neat. I'm gonna claim that as a victory. All right, freezer. My freezer is gonna have to be a project. I've got it so stuffed. It's ridiculous. These are all soups. My bread, but my bread goes here because I really don't love that bread. My bagels will go in there afterwards. I'm eating a lot of salads or cucumbers. I don't love lettuce. The reason I'm eating so much cucumbers and salad stuff is, holy mackerel, looking at myself on video, I get as much back fat as I have front fat. That's not good. And I'm not going to try to say I'll get rid of it all because that's setting myself up for failure. But something's got to give. Right, everything's away. I'm going to make myself a bagel for lunch because I'm home, and that's going to be my treat to myself. And then we're going to do a tour. One of the things I have to do, you know me with vacuuming, the best part of vacuuming this silly small apartment is I will plug it into here in my dining room, and it will reach every room of the house. So I have a 10-minute vacuuming job, and then it amazes me how much cat hair. I'm going to try to give you a background on the house. It's gone, I've had the house since 77, 78. So I've had the house for 46 years. We bought it as a two-family, and it should have been torn down. It was a mess. So there's been a whole lot done over the years. I've wasted so much money fixing it up. But the reason that we bought this house is we had a house in the next town that we had bought and built, and we were going to lose it because my ex-husband was not fond of working. So he promised me that if we sold that brand new house and bought this falling down relic, we would fix it up and keep it for 2 years. Hi, 46 years. And it's fine. It was meant to be, right? This is the back of what is now the dining room. This wall had a doorway here to the hallway, so that it was a regular apartment. You went upstairs or you came in here. When we took it over as a one family, we knocked this whole thing out so it was all open. When we got divorced 15 years ago, the only way I could afford to keep the house is if I put it into a two-family, so this wall came back. Interesting fact, I did all this while my ex-husband still lived here because he stayed until the day the divorce was final, and FYI, he asked for the divorce. I was in it to die in it. So close that off, and for a long time, it was just an open wall. Last year, I bought these cabinets, 3 pieces, Home Depot unfinished. They were dropped into the driveway, which, if you know, the driveway is, I think, 13 steps, then the long walkway, and then 6 steps, and then the porch, and then drag them in. I did it by myself. I had a hand truck, dragged them in, painted them that color that I wanted, and attached them to the wall myself. That was not a success. They are so warped. I will not give me anything except an A for effort. And then I had Formica put on, which just looks like a painted surface, so keeps it very neat. And that's got so much storage, and I've got, all my dividers in there because I'm anal. And then over here, I had opened this up. That's to the living room. Opened it up as far as it could go. The chimney is there, so we can't open it anymore. And over here, there's a smaller opening into the living room. I wanted that open. The living room was too closed off. But there was a tiny closet right here, and it was useless. Not even really deep enough for a coat. We made it work. But my husband threatened my life and told me no more knocking down walls. And he came home from work one day and opened the closet to put his coat in, and I was standing on the other side waving, because while he was at work I had taken that wall down too. I wonder why I'm divorced. He divorced me, and he had plenty of reason. This was an oak table and oak chairs. When I moved down 5 years ago, I didn't even want to bring this, because when we bought the oak set, oak is not something I love, but I was keeping the peace, as you have to. I was painting the white trim, and you have a paintbrush in your hand. So I slapped a coat on the table and on the chairs, and I like it so much better. To me, it looks so much fresher. But I don't know what made me want it, but I wanted gray with like daisies on the chairs. Nowhere. I searched high and low for fabric, and I finally hit gold. This is a shower curtain that I cut up. Didn't they come out nicely? And I can just wipe them down. Not that I ever sit at them. My little ode to myself: if you want to know where your heart is, look to where your mind goes when it wanders. When my mind wanders, often it's blank, but when it's not, it's to my kids. Last year, the year before, I added a mini split to the house for heat. We all know I keep the house extremely cold, but when I have to turn the heat on, 5 minutes and that will do it. And that's also an air conditioner, so that worked out really well. The kitchen, you've seen it a million times. picture somewhere and I'd like to find it for you. This was, of course, a wall because it used to be the bedroom. But when my ex-husband opened this up, he only opened it up 27 inches. You couldn't get the refrigerator in or out or the stove in or out. It was ridiculous. So 2 years ago, I needed to get a new refrigerator and couldn't get it through. And I took a saw and I cut off the existing counter and I cut this out right to the baseboard. Then just put the same piece back on. Look, it worked. Might not be pretty, but it worked. So this was opened up. I tiled the floors then. I hated the tile, but again, you do it on a budget and you try to keep the peace. So that got redone. This, when I opened this up all the way, I had the counter raised, almost like a breakfast bar, but there wasn't room for one. And I actually had the dishwasher raised so that when I was putting dishes away, I could just reach right in and put them in the cupboard. This is Formica. I don't have anything expensive in this house. The cabinets were all oak. Guess who picked them? Not me. There's no heat in this kitchen because the heat is under these cabinets, and my husband didn't have it brought forward. He just closed it in. A nice warm cabinet, but I don't have a nice warm kitchen. Better. This wall is old. These walls that look so pretty, every wall in this house, unless I say it's a brand new wall, is wallpaper and I painted over it. You can't tell unless you start really looking, and there's a seam right here. But for the most part, you know, lipstick on a pig, I've said it, but it works. I love this apartment. It's clean, it's calm, except for me, it's nice. I'm very happy with it. You will all relate. When they came to bring in the new refrigerator, first of all, I hadn't been behind it, of course, and I wanted to clean, so they pulled it out, and there was glass, big shards of glass all under it, where Parker had knocked down a beautiful cake plate a couple years earlier. So I'm in a hurry to clean it up, and I had a rag, and I stabbed myself and cut myself wide open on a finger. So I've got blood everywhere, and I've got it wrapped so I can finish cleaning. And the guys that were putting the refrigerator in just, you know, they went, "Ma'am," and it's like, oh, this is not going to be good. I said, "Yeah, where do you want us to plug this in?" And I looked, and my ex had not brought the electric up, or had it brought up if he didn't want to. He drilled a hole in the floor, ran the refrigerator plug down to an extension cord, and it's plugged into the cellar. Guess what it's doing today? It's running through the floor to an extension cord, and it's plugged in the cellar. I'm not going to have it redone, but there's a hole in the floor. I will find a picture because it's incredible. So, on the other side of the refrigerator, I keep the little toaster oven and the toaster. I never use it. I bought this cute little thing thinking I would use it. Tea's ready. I keep my million cough drops. I go through 2 bags of 50 cough drops a week. And then my potatoes. As you've seen, the toaster always stays up there. I cannot handle clutter. I don't know what it is in a previous life, but I can't do it. And then I bought the little plants for the windows. I've actually cut this one way back, and its sister over here. My aloe, I didn't realize aloe got so big. Look at that thing. I'm going to have to get rid of that. And can you see this? I'm holding that up. What am I holding it up with? It's a fork. I didn't have anything to hold it up with. And it's going to poke an eye out. When we come down from that beautiful look, we've got these cabinets. Years ago, I got mad at trying to do things in here. So I opened this, cut off the wood that was separating it, screwed it onto the back of that door, and now I've got pull-out drawers there. I did that to both of those cabinets. So you can't tell. And this is my little area that I love. Now, I don't drink a lot of coffee, maybe one in the afternoon just to keep me up for the rest of the day. But this little coffee thing, it says coffee, you can't read it well. My tea, I only drink Salada, but when I have friends over, they like other teas. And my Keurig, which has a little make-a-believe cappuccino and latte milk thing, doesn't do that good of a job, but it looks so cute here. I love this little corner. And then I keep my little hot spoon. My sister gave me this hot spoon, and it has my brother's name etched on it. It's not real clear, you can't see it, D-O-N for my brother. That is the only spoon I use for my tea. I've got this tradition going. Then people come over and they love most of these stupid little spoon rests. I have people come into the kitchen and mention the spoon rests. Really? But that's my little corner. My tea, you know, I always have all day long. I make a big pot in the morning, sometimes two, and then I dump it in here because that keeps it fresher. It closes up, but I can just warm that up in the microwave and I can keep it all day. The stove is at least 25 years old. Cross your fingers, it's still working fine. It died about 2 years ago and I thought that was the end of it. But when the gentleman came out just to give me a quote, he found a pot for it that's an ancient pot that fixed it for like $100. That's staying. The dishwasher that somebody asked me about, I'd love to get a new one. This thing is loud as heck. It doesn't even do that good of a job, and it is ancient. The sink is brand new. When I put the new counter, I got the new sink. The microwave is 6 months old because just before I started doing this channel, I was cooking something in it and my old one caught fire. I actually had to take out burning stuff out to the backyard. House was full of smoke. I had to do remedial smoke work in the house. But my new microwave, my favorite thing. So the only other thing is my trash compactor, which a friend gave that to me, and I really wanted one because I had one upstairs when I redid. That house has been completely redone, gutted. And I didn't have any place to put this, and I really should paint it. A year ago, I got mad at the cabinet was there, and if you can tell how beautifully I cut this out. I had an electrician come over, throw a plug in there, and I now have my trash compactor. So this part of the house has been repurposed so many times. I've had, you know, at one point when we had the whole house, I had a pool table in here for the kids that they used. You know, this was the bedroom. My sons had bedrooms down here for a short while. The living room was a bedroom for a short while. But everything in this part of the house has been painted. Oh, you know what I didn't tell you? My two windows that are just, I love the plants on top of them. I don't know from what angle you can see them well because of the sun. But I love that look when you come in. But my ex-husband put those in. He put them in so tight that they can't be opened. No matter what you do. I climb on the counter to try to open them. I had one of my big burly brother-in-laws scoff at me because he said, of course it can be open. And he climbed up on top and grunted and groaned. No, go get some. Boy, those are tight. Yeah, I know. So the new floor that I told you Michael and I did. Mike, I shouldn't say that, he'll get mad. Michael did. Everything in here. Old, ugly, repurposed, including me. And I love it. That's the tour of the dining room and kitchen. I think I got everything. I did. I'm going to go sit down and guess what I'm going to do? I'll probably edit this video to get it up for you. I've got to get to the Q&As that you've done. That's going to take me a couple of days. At some point I've got to knit. Good Lord. I enjoy this so much. Thank you for putting up with me. Please subscribe, like it, and share it. It's helping me immensely with groceries. Take care.